I wander so aimless, life filled with sin. I wouldn't let my dear
Yo, and you're gonna hear a lot of noise in the background. You're gonna hear Wendigo, the rooster, carrying on crowing, trying to impress the hens and everything else. But I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit, just for a few anyway. And before I go on, if you agree with what I say, if you like what I say or said or whatever, right? Hit the thumbs up button thingy and leave a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That's Wendigo. Anyway, he made me lose my train of thought. He's good at that. But of course, anything really is never mind. Anyway, if you haven't already hit subscribe. I sing. Well, I'm not a great singer, and I never claimed to be. I like to sing. I like to sing songs that bring a smile to your heart, to your face. Maybe something to make you remember way back when and all that brings a smile to your face. And you say, I remember that. I used to listen to that song and all this. And I haven't lately, but every now and then I'll try to do some kind of comedy, little skits and such on here, but it's been a little bit since I last done so. So anyway, I'd like to, say something that I hope in some way will encourage you. We all need encouraging, have our spirits lifted, give a little hope, a little strength in our hearts and, in our spirit, right? We all need that. We all need prayer. Not one person I know, really, be honest, and I am being honest, there's not one person I know that doesn't need prayer. We all need it. Now, there's some of you who remember a few years back or so ago when I had troubles, when my wife had left and all this kind of stuff. And all that, some of you remember what happened, and there's others don't know. And I'll say this, I'm not going to go into all that. But what I'm trying to get at is there was some people back then that were supposed to be my friends. I'm not talking about the ones who always stood by me. I'm talking about the others who turned their back on me. And they judged me and treated me bad and all this. And, well, with my wife leaving and all this and that, and that, and with anybody, with any situation where you have troubles like that or whatever, right? You get hurt, you get crushed, and then you find yourself wanting to get even, hoping the bad things would happen on them and all this. There are different other type things that's going on. You find yourself in that hate mode. And I'll tell you one thing. Now, one thing is true. Hate will destroy you. And bitterness and all this and things from your past. Maybe, like with me, like a little bit of flashbacks and stuff that happened when I was in the military and what have you. But the thing is, it wasn't good, in other words, right? It wasn't good at all. And if you hear any noise in the background, that's people working just down the road over here. So ignore that. But anyway, I was hurting real bad. And if it wasn't for prayers, right? If it wasn't for a lot of your prayers and the prayers of my family and other friends and things, because see, a lot of you I consider my family. And when I say family, I'm also I'm throwing you in there too. And you know, we all need that prayer. And see, if it wasn't for that and getting a wake-up call, and I guess you would say with the things that's going on in the world and seeing all of that, all of it going on around me and everything, it made me think back to the good book, the book of heaven. And sitting there really looking at it, you know, because see, before, years ago, years and years and years and years ago, you know, people would say, well, this is the last days, you know, and stuff. And there was a lot that wasn't fulfilled in the book of heaven back then. Just a few things at that time. But now there's a lot of it. We're talking slap you in the face, slap you silly coming true. Taste of reality and going on. And it made me think about my soul, you know. Made me think about me. Now see, it doesn't matter what your nationality is, what your, how they say race. To me, I see it as there's only one race, really. And that's the human race. But you know, we all tend to label things so we can identify things like, that's a car, or that's a truck, or that's a chicken, that's a cat, that's a dog, and all that, right? We label things so we can know what we're talking about, right? Well, race, as far as skin color and all this kind of stuff and bloodlines and stuff, it don't matter. So I got to thinking about all that, and I just had to do some crying out for mercy. And mercy came in. Mercy came knocking. I opened up, and mercy came in. But you know what? It's hard for anybody to forgive. It is. You know, Yeshua, Jesus, you know, he said something that it wasn't meant to be easy. He said to forgive. Because he did state that if you do not forgive, alright, then he won't forgive us. So you can say there's two unforgivable sins. Blaspheming the Holy Spirit and not forgiving another. It's never easy. Trust me on it. It's not. But I can promise you this, you will feel the better for it if you will forgive. Forgive those who hate you and have done bad things to you and have hurt you. See, I could say a lot more, you know, about where my life has been and where I am now, but that would have to be for another video, and then in little snippets, because that'd take forever. But see, the thing is I hope that you can forgive others, right? If you want mercy to come knocking on your door and to come in, you're going to have to show mercy to others, to forgive them. Didn't say that you're not going to remember what was done. Our minds are like a hard drive. You're going to remember it. But it's a matter of choice, that we make, even though we might remember the things that was done, that will, like what others have done to us, or some tragedy or something like that, we don't forget it. But it's a matter also, when you forgive, choosing not to dwell on it. See, it's like this. Forgiveness is a choice. And you should do it because you choose to. Not because that it's a command alone, but because that you choose to do the right thing. You choose to because Yeshua taught us how to love and forgive and to receive forgiveness. And so many other things he taught us. But the thing is it's never easy. And, if you will think about everything that was done to you, if you haven't forgiven somebody, think about it. Think about forgiving that person. Look down in your heart. No, it's not easy. Don't kid yourself. It's not easy. But you can also ask the Lord, the Great Spirit, the Great Beautiful One. You can ask Him for help, to help you forgive, to give you the strength, because it's going to take strength to forgive. But do it. And once you find that mercy in your soul, your heart is flowing out, then it comes easy. But forgiveness never comes easy for us unless we reach out for that strength that only He can provide. And if you're going through something that's hard on you, alright, you don't have to say exactly what it is, but just pray about it and ask others to help you pray. You can say, I'm going through some things right now and I need your prayers, please. Just put it in the comment down below. And if you have a short little testimony of something that you went through, but you got over it and got through it with His help, share that. You can give the Reader's Digest version of it, but never be ashamed to give thanks and to tell others how thankful you are for Him. I see a lot of people with videos, saying, God showed me and God said. Well, He might have. But if you ever listen to what they say, it's a contradiction to everything. They contradict others. And see, God is not a contradiction. He does not lie, and all this, so. But know this, when God speaks, He speaks in many ways. But, whether He wants to speak to you in a dream, and if He does, that's for you. And dreams ain't something that's so easily interpreted, and they will interpret dreams with different interpretations, etc., etc., etc. But God speaks to us in different ways. But He may speak to you in a dream. He may speak directly to your heart. Or especially when you open that book of heaven, He will speak to you through His great written word. And some will say, well, that was written by man. Let me tell you, when you pick up a pen and you go to write, now are you writing or is that pen writing? Is the pen doing the work? You're just doing this, but the pen's doing the writing. You can't write nothing without that pen or pencil, whatever, right? In other words, if you try doing it, you're just making motions in the air. Or just making motions, that's it. Well, the beautiful great one, He used men as pens. And they never contradicted. You can't show me one contradiction. There is nowhere is a contradiction. Now, a lot of people will say it's a contradiction, but they read and yet they don't understand what they read. That's kind of like instruction. That's what it is. The Book of Heaven is an instruction book, or even a roadmap, a combination of both. Now, when you get something in the mail, how many of you got instructions with something that's, I mean, you're like, what in the world? I mean, some of it is written in Chinese and not English at all. And you're like, what? Or it may be someone who's attempting to use English when they're putting the instruction in, but they have no concept of the English language. So therefore you're left even more confused, right? But see, the thing is, the Book of Heaven is straightforward. But you, like in all things, whether you're reading a fictional book or the Book of Heaven, to understand something, you got to really get into it. I mean, really look into it and understand the context. People avoid that so much, but shouldn't avoid the context. Don't quote something you don't even understand fully the full meaning of something, like what was said in its context when you're reading the Book of Heaven. And depending on the versions you're using, see, a lot of them say, well, they're translations. No, they're not. They're versions. They're not translations. You need to study on that a little bit. But that's a whole nother can of worms to go into on another time. But the thing is, is that you got to look into your heart, right? You gotta look into your spirit, your mind, your heart. Just think about things. See where you first of all stand before Him. Think about it. I know it's hard, but I challenge you, and I'm giving you a challenge to look deep in your heart and see where you stand before Him. And sorry about that. But we need to grasp what's going on in our hearts, where we stand before Him. We get wrapped up into things, and that's so wrapped up that we don't really see ourselves, how we stand before Him. We don't even see ourselves how we are before others, but it's a challenge to look at oneself. Have mercy, to forgive, to actually love and care about someone that hates you. That's a tough pill to swallow. But I do remember Yeshua says in the Book of Heaven, in the New Testament, you know, he not only talks about forgiving, but he talks about loving our enemies, to pray for them, to do good. Oh, wow. And he also says, so why do you call me Lord, you know, but yet you don't do what I say? Think about that one. Yeah. You know, so if we call him Lord, that means he's our Lord. If we mean it from the heart. Now, we might be saying it just to be saying it, to whistle Dixie. And that's not cool. But think about it. When you call him Lord, what does that say? Especially if you don't do what he says to do. If I don't do what he says to do and I call him Lord, there's a problem. So you gotta reach down and look in yourself. This is what I'm getting at. And that's not an easy thing to do. Now, I didn't mean to go on so long, but I just want to give you an encouragement, excuse me, to examine yourself, you know, and to do something that's going to help you, you know, lift you up. And remember this, I love you guys, you know, and I want to apologize if I don't get to, you know, get around to your postings, because I know a lot of you have good posts, you know, that you have on YouTube and even on Facebook or even Instagram, even etc., and even on Twitter. But the thing is that I love y'all, and I'm sorry I've been busy, and I stay in pain all the way, but I try not to dwell on it. I'm just thankful that I can still breathe, I can walk still, and you know, I can see, you know, and I smell, like, especially when there's food on the grill or something, right? You know, I can still smell and be able to get out and do things like take care of the animals. It's hard. It's hard, and my mother's health is really getting bad. Her memory is getting worse. She's got dementia, and she needs your prayers. We need your prayers. You know, we have now we have nurses that comes out and therapists to help her, which I'm so thankful that they do now. And but she's been having big problems with her breathing. They got her on oxygen, but now it's not so good. But anyway, pray for her. Pray for us. Me and my brothers, we, you know, live right next door to her, you know, and help her the best way we can. You know, we try to keep an eye on her. Always make sure that every day when I go up there, and before I go, I always let her know that I love her. You know, and I do love my mother. She is not just my mother, but my best friend. My other best friend was my papa. He's no longer here. He's up with the beautiful great one now, and I miss him. But my best friend, my mother, you know, I have a lot of respect and love for her, you know. And hey, if you haven't told your mother or father, if they're still alive, you haven't told them that you love them, please do so. Because they're not going to be around forever. And if you're mad at them for something, please forgive them. You need to take a look at your heart. Because the beautiful great one frowns when you mistreat elders, especially your parents. Well, that hen's upset. Oh, I don't blame her. She's being chased by Wendigo. That's a little Wyandotte. I call her Fleck because she got them golden little flecks in her on her feathers. You know, I was fixing to say fur. Man, then there'd be something wrong if there's fur on the chicken. But anyway, I hope that y'all all have a good day, a good month, a good year. It's been hot, and all these fires and stuff. Pray for those people there in Maui, and others. You know, with all there's fires going on and other troubles going on around this world, in our country, and everywhere. But remember everyone in your prayers. And if you got a prayer request, pray. If you got a song request, I can't promise anything, but I can promise I will try. And, I can't sing like I used to back when I was younger. When I was younger, I could sing really good, but hey, I love to sing. It lifts my spirit, and I hope, I'm hoping to lift your spirits. Okay, so remember, I'm not trying to win a Grammy award, or whatever they call it. I'm not trying to win that. I'm just wanting to lift people's spirits, my spirit, your spirits, and I enjoy singing, So, I talked too long, and I apologize. And remember, pray for one another, and look down in your heart for mercy. Let mercy come in. And we know who mercy is, right? We can say that in one name alone. But let mercy come in. Let Yeshua, let the beautiful great one change your heart, your spirit, right? Think about it. I love you all. Be blessed in all that you do. And remember, look up for yours and mine. Redemption is near. So look up. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. Be blessed. And until then, let me just say, Wado. And I hope
your mercy.